He could try and take advantage of some duels in mid. No damage drop off on the Vandal makes you a dangerous combatant even against something like an operator. All you need to do is take advantage of that first shot accuracy. But remember, if this Vandal falls down, it will be very hard to recover. Frosties takes a jump and reveals their location. Pro manages to convert. Can they get another? No. But Aziz elsewhere has done magic and made it happen with the Sheriff. But now they have to plug the hole that was opened in mid when Pro fell. Ostentatious is the approach from Jar. Two Sheriffs here in an attempt to... that was a trap. Oh, you thought you could get the Vandal. But what you've really gained is a bullet to the back of the head. And once again, it's being camped. Jar picks. Oh, damage done there. Jar does get a little bit of extra damage onto the Sage. Now Flippy looks to take an advantageous door, but they just find themselves in the snake bite. That means Crasania can do it with body shots, baby. Bleed convert yet another against the Eco.
Solid performance from Bleed once again. Granted, they took a lot of damage that round, but you were against that Vandal approach, you were against that crunch of Sheriffs in mid. Surviving is what mattered there. Just getting your distance from you and Southbuilt before Southbuilt can bring out their ults accompanied by their full buys. This is usually that point that we hit. AZ is going to have that up. Against 5 rifles, he should be able to get the man advantage here. He even has the knives in case he's cornered. So, for now, this should be a perfect opportunity for Southbuilt to put themselves on the board.
Now discipline will the peaks be. Nice little jump there, and now with the slow. This is a risk that AZ is going to take. Is that a full smoke? Indeed it is. No recall here. They're making sure that Aziz can't control that angle for a long time. And once again, a default spread here. Fact-finding missions. And Aziz finds himself a new angle to try and exploit.
Have we lucked out?
Nothing for Bruce. No information gained.
What?
Information now are gone. It's going to be down to inference, and that's what Aziz has right now. They see the cloudburst, they know that that jet is close. They're going to be caught within the snake bite here, and damage will be done. Going up high and maybe crashing down low as Frosties, but they're straight into the path of Papachulo. They need to go big here. They had a really unfortunate game on Haven. Oh, hello.
What? We're like... We disconnected completely, but we heard you start to finish. What?
Oh.
We're back, I guess, but...
Cool. Well, in that case, let's talk about this Viper Spit. It's been put down here by Crasania. They have easy access to the operator in here that was dropped by Aziz. Maybe this can be gate kept. It's going to be so difficult to siege into it. Potentially, you could try and find some exits. Jar, first up, just holds down the pings. It's a beautifully placed recon. Will they gather the operator? Jarpix considers it, and then it will be the case. And things are going from bad to worse for Southbuilt. This is surely going to be a 6th clear for Bleed.
I don't know what happened to the stream there. I do apologize. I think we only missed about half a round, though. We didn't miss too much, but it should be all fixed. If it happens again, try and message in the chat, like, as it happens, and we'll sort of... I'll just add 2 minutes to what I did ago, and we'll sort of figure it out. Nonetheless, though, we move into a full eco from Southbuilt. Oh, yeah, I do really apologise for that. Moving into a full eco from Southbuilt. A couple of Sheriffs come out. There are the ults available for Yar and AZs. Papachulo one away from theirs, so they may fight for some orb control here. As you see, AZ's aggressing. But for Bleed, already 5 rounds ahead. They've got ults ready on both Jarpix and Frosties. First off, Alexi's still one away from theirs. Next round is going to be a massive power spike for Southbuilt, but also Bleed because of the ult management. So, while this round may be a bit flatulent, it's next round that matters.
AZs versus Crasania here. They go high and they see nothing. They don't expect that Crasania has made this deep of an inroad into their territory. And Crasania could take advantage of this. Now Aziz sees them. And they call over reinforcements. 3 people now trying to hold on to B, but there are 4 attackers outside of A. How many numbers were spotted here by Jar? Can they do anything off the back of this? The answer's no. Jarpix instantly puts them down, and that's not what Soulbot was looking for. admittedly. Flippy within the smoke gets himself a free kill right here, and Jarpix needs to spam on through as Aziz gets what they want. Flippy's done so much here, and the resurrection, can it be punished? Aziz just runs out of knives, who are giving them out too liberally, and they could not coalesce into a singular win. A 2 versus 2 here as First Love picks up the heirloom operator. Aziz could be 2v1. They've only got a classic in hand. They don't really have access to a weapon. They found themselves a Vandal. Now it's clutchable. If they can find these guys while they're commuting, they're loud with their movements. That's one. Aziz, yes, they'll find 2. A 3rd overall, and I'm having that operator back, mate.
A wonderful round by Aziz there. Able to retrieve not only that up, more importantly, follow it up. And yeah, so your voice is there, start to finish, by the way. I just saw the VOD catch up. What on earth was that? Do apologize for the brief internet issues. I'm not a producer. I'm also not an observer. So, I think this is doing pretty well, all things considered. Yeah, I need to apologize for that. Flippy, let's see what we can do here. Looking to maybe aggress off the back of the Hawk here. He does have the Seekers ready already, so being able to fight for the Ult Orb, not really necessary. But AZ, this Orb now posted in mid, looking to combat one of these members of Bleed who still haven't reinvested the sniper.
Their boy getting pinged, and now First Love. Dare you walk this? Chrysania for now is dragging a load of attention over towards A. If they could force Aziz to start running and make sound in doing so, things will become a lot more dangerous. Here comes the drone over the top. Aziz will have to try and tuck into the corner here. Think thin, and maybe just in time. They will not have been noted. We'll find out sooner or later whether that was the case. Oh, Aziz can now be rushed on down. That's a miss as Bleed. They just duck under the shots. Fancy footwork and beautiful bodywork as well. An attempt with the Hunter's Fury to stop this onset. And Pro should have found First Love. But is there anything more?
Yeah, getting that flank is definitely going to help. For a 3-on-3, I love this divide. It's just to try and confirm the round as much as possible from Bleed. We'll see if Southbuilt commits their divide here. The counter Hunter's Fury comes out. I caught someone already.
Garfix has done a fantastic job off the back of that. Still, Lexi here. As this smoke drops, they're going to be called. Pro's already making moves, quite loudly in fact, and as they come out to try and deal with it, Jar is able to get the refrag. Do they know the location of the jet? The answer, of course, is going to be no. But I wonder about their ping right there, because they were kind of running backwards the entire time.
Yeah, they were really trying to follow it up, unfortunately. Maybe they thought it was a flank at A main.
Maybe.
And it was a bit of a miscom.
That makes sense, but they were so loud of it as well.
Yeah, they could have been the lurker, and it just wasn't commed by JA when they got that, or by Yar. They didn't com that kill they got to start the retake, and so they just assumed the last was behind them. That makes sense.
6-1 already. For all the fight Southbuilt put up on Haven, the light seems to be fizzling out, Kramer. Candle that burns brightest is always the first to go out. And maybe that's what Southbuilt had in their recent Filipino adventures. They've won so many local tournaments flawlessly, in fact, at the local Filipino Invitational where they defeated Team Secret. They will spot Pro here going for a jump spot, surely. And Papachulo is forced to run away from this area. Oh, they've been hit by the drone.
No aggression into JA here. He's got a tall order here. One kill would be perfect, but the timing is just so crushing. I think you should just lower that door, be done with it, but no. Still wants to try and get a kill. Flippy, good for one.
And that means that that wall is not going to come back up. Now Jar can check this with their body. They can easily shoulder peek it or decide to hold it. Frosties is going to make a crossfire on this angle, though almost impossible. They see Pro, but the spray is messy. Pro's going to look to double down, and so is Frosty. What was that right click from across the way by Pro? How was it a free gun? That's just brutal, nasty. Papachulo now walled away from this site, and Flippy will have to combat it by themselves. They have appropriated a Vandal. They see where the plant is. Can they catch First Love as they exit this? Aziz elsewhere has won the duel, and First Love might be distracted as they hold it down in hell. surely here they can make it work. And that will be the case. Southbuilt, they're going to convert on their eco here off the back of some fantastic gunplays, flanks, and pinches.
Really strong round from Southbuilt Esports. It's just what they need. They finally are able to do it. Keeping 2 players alive as well gives them that extra bit of cash that they hold on to. Now, for ult usage, Yar still has his. Churlo still has theirs available. But First Love, they had that whole clutch where they had the res. They just couldn't use it because they couldn't find a teammate to resurrect. So, unfortunately, narrowed down and forced under heaven. The one waste from AZ as well was so strong. For now, Bleed, a reinvestment, a circumstance I don't think they're very used to at this point, which is they don't have much money. Jarpix down to a Spectre.
Not ideal, especially considering that, Aziz loves to try and control mid. These long-range duels. However, they have left the op in the bin. It's all about the Vandal now. When buying at this kind of level, sometimes you want to just have that economic reinforcement that maybe you could buy for a teammate if they need it. The op can be a little bit greedy, but it can absolutely dominate a match.
Frosty looking to go aggressive in its garden here.
Might have been a poor read here. Jar actually recalled all their stars on A, and those are going to be on cooldown for a while. Just spamming into this. They've done plenty of damage to Frosties. And now Frosty's going to try and make an entry happen. They get themselves around the back of Generator, but the real battle is happening in Gardens. Jar sees a ping. They drop on down. They've got a spike on the floor now. First Love has fallen, and so too has Lexi. And now a re-entry into the Garden needs to occur. How can you smoke this off? It's got to be off the back of a jet. The Cloudburst come down, and Krasani is the one who manages to grab that spike. But now they're all alone. The bite is delivered by Bruce. Just a taste of the flesh is all that we need, sir. And Pro will have their own gobbets given. 3k for the Sova. And a little bit of momentum gathered now for Southbuilt.
Really strong round once again, and that was perfect off the back of JD or JA to get that first kill, and more importantly to get the spike. He instantly puts an extra layer of utility on top of it, so that second anyone picks it up, they're sucked into the ground well, and they're left once again in such a difficult position. Really nice bit of decision making from Yar, and I mean, if they can mimic it, suddenly things get problematic for Bleed.
Very deep position here from Aziz. Will they be punished here? There will be the attempt from Frosties, but that's a good dodge and a good headshot. Aziz is on fire right now. Every shot is finding its mark. They see First Love, and dare they try and close the gap right here. Down goes the armor, down goes the head. Lexi gonna be caught here. Aziz picks up 4. I know it was into an eco, but sometimes you just got to appreciate some good aim.
A wonderful round from Aziz there, and just like that, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter what the utility is.
Max money now.
Yeah, he just runs in and kills people. Southbuilt, off the back of 3 rounds, as you mentioned, now have all the money in the world. They don't have to worry. They're not going to have any economic woes the rest of the half. Whereas Bleed, they're pretty much out. They lose this round, and the final round of the half will be spent with Spectres, half armors, limited utility. Not what you want at all.
It could go from a 6-1 scoreline to a 6-6 if Bleed can't convert on the buy they've generated here in round number 11. Krasania again. If they can grab this orb, the Viper's Pit is available. I don't think we've seen a Viper's Pit yet from Krasania in this half. They've only got 5 kills, so it's been a touch lacking in terms of generation. Oh, and so that guiding light, it will confirm presence. Flippy's overwhelmed from so many different angles. If Krasania can make their way into here and put down the Viper's Pit, surely this will be so hard to retake. Krasania, for now, though, they feel that they have enough of an advantage that they can just go back and work on their lineups. And then maybe the Viper's Pit, they'll be all about going for the next round. Look at the position here from Frosties. Surely they could be detained unless there's some kind of marvel. Frosties gets the first. They are going to be detained. That's an easy kill there for Jar, but can they find anything more than this? The post plants are so well positioned. Krasania is in the easiest position of their life to try and make something work. In come the snake bites. The spike ticks away. And there's the attempt to defuse. Jar just wants to hold it. They get themselves for half. Aziz with the trigger discipline will take down 1, but they can't take down more than this. Everybody dies, Kremer. And that might prove troublesome for Bleed.
Oh, Harry, ja, das bedeutet Tage. This is tough. And you know what that means, actually? It's a really cool phrase. It means, this means trouble. I was waiting for an opportunity to use it on Ja, but he's not having the standout game he was earlier. So we'll drop it anyway. But a really strong round for nonetheless from Bleed. I actually really like how they wait for the Cosmic Divide to be expended before they commit to their really going for the Afterplant. And it means that, most importantly, you actually have cover when lining up your utility for that Afterplant. Because the only people who could really try and stop you with the Jets, I mean, they don't have anything to throw through that divide. I mean, sure, you had the Astra. I mean, maybe they can get something through that, but it's not like playing as a Sova where you can just swap arrows and hope you survive. In this case, you have time to line it up, fully charge it, and then send it, which for South build meant they just had to tank it. We saw at the end there, I believe it was Ya who just had to sit in that snakebite to try and get that defuse because they were just out of time.
Sometimes you've got to make tough decisions to try and find those clutches. Jar's definitely a brave individual, but in this case, they were punished for it. Still, no worries when it comes to the economy. I'm surprised that Aziz hasn't just bought an operator for the fun of it. They do have 4.7. Yeah, there it is. The operator's out. Brought down to 0. Last round of the half. You might as well try your luck on mid, mate. Are you feeling lucky?
Now, aggression looking likely as Frosty's just on the shoulder peak trying to catch out another member. Unfortunately, no aggression just yet. Bear in mind, if Bleed take this pistol round, we may be seeing a very, very one-sided affair. Unfortunately, the night is very young.
Oh, that's one of the best openers you could ask for, Kremer.
It is.
Without that wall, A is going to be a lot harder to execute upon. And already B's laden with Killjoy utility, so that's going to slow down any potential incomings. Aziz stops himself from getting pinged using the Cloud Burst. Good usage of the utility right there. A fair exchange to not reveal that the op is still present. And the spike is going to make its way over down to the catwalk now. They've gone for the resurrection, and that is going to be the signal to bring out the Hunter's Fury. They had an idea where everyone was, but the pings just don't connect. And now Pro has to double check. Are they actually here? What can I do about this? They'll see at least one head. That's going to be 2 confirmed. Aziz has brought out their knives. In fact, both Jets have decided to do so. Here comes the Viper's Pit. But it's not very deep into A. Krasani is just trying to get all of this information by themselves, and they've already got 1 frag. And that means that Ja is kind of caught out by themselves. Papachula needs to go absolutely huge. They found themselves a safe little cubby behind this. That's beautiful! Oh. That's brutal! That's nasty! Come into my world! Sure, the Viper's Pit may be up on A, but you guys have got a vortex to deal with, and you created my own little turtle of safety, hoisted by your own petard.
You're at a stage where aim doesn't even matter. There are so many bodies in that ground well. You shoot, you're probably going to hit someone. Granted, Papichulo, he has a lot of aim to share out. And with that, a wonderful 4K spray down. The fourth did require a little bit of an adjustment, but honestly, that was a 2-man band there. The ground well thrown down by Yada was just perfect. And for Papichulo, he's going to be very, very happy with that.
One happy boy, Kremer. They took a risk sitting in that cubby during the Cosmic Divide, and they were well rewarded for it. A gravity well and well time. This time it made fools of Bleed. Seems like that's rarely been the case, but this time around, can self-built be a little bit more concerted in their attack. Admittedly on Haven, both sides it was 6-6. Everything went even, but finally an advantage has been given over to Bleed off the back of a beautiful defense attack even.
With that, Bleed now. Having seen a lot of aggression from South Built, I'm surprised considering how much of a fight that was, how much HP everyone has. It's like they sort of, they sort of size each other up, but they don't actually take a swing. It's sort of
bit of posturing.
Yeah, a bit of goading. Maybe they exchange some hurtful
puffing
words.
Some chest out.
Yeah. Yeah, saying some mean things. In this case...
Your mother.
Yeah. In this case, First Love going on the shoulder peak. Gonna be, this time, truly tested in an actual fight.
My eyes on Aziz, but First Love here could be in a position to get a nasty right click. They can hear that Sage dashing away as Aziz moves in. Oh, their jet dash is interrupted, but luckily they're covered out by Jar. And First Love here might be betrayed by their ponytail. Jarpix is able to do everything they want from on high. A touch of healing from the sky shall be used. And Flippy, I think that was a friendly flash on the throw right there. I'm not entirely sure. How can the re-entry help from Frosty's here? They have a Sheriff in hand. The wallbangs will be strong. They turn away from a flash. And now it's all about deciding where to put their armaments. They want to take out Jar, and they've laid them so low. Multiple pings come through here, but Flippy's an absolute demon on the site. Frosty surely can't do it by themselves, and they're running low on this magazine. Papachulo wants to try and make it happen, so they jump up towards Frosty's, but everyone who rolls on up is knocked on down. Time is not on the side of Frosty's, and so they look for yet another. They'll find themselves a third, but Jar will find the frag and the explosion.
Wonderful round there from South Bill, and in that case, it's going to be their 6th. Harry, I would not be surprised if we see another overtime. It genuinely feels like it's teetering that way. There's such a to and fro. I mean, for Bleed, this is going to be somewhat dicey. You need to remember as well that the half ended with Papichulo getting that 4K. The pistol round now goes in favour of South Bill. They actually have a lot of momentum here. If they can convert it, if they win not only this round, but if they win the full buy of Bleed, then I take it back and we may see South Bill just dominate it for the rest of the map.
There's a world where it happens, Kremer. But is it the reality in which we live? Aziz prepares to make their entry here, and strapped to the generator, they will move. However, Spike's not in their hands, so clear out Hell first, and there's a huge population in guard that needs to be dealt with. Lexi's made their way in behind the generator, and Jarpix just runs down Flippy themselves. But now the Radiant boxes provide cover for Aziz, and as First Love dips their head in, it will be taken off there by Jar. A long flank here from Crusani. It could be punished, but instantly Timothy is going to spot that one out and allows for an easy pass from Papachulo. The one way from Aziz versus Frosties. It's going to be run and gun. And run and gun it is. Speedy delivery of both the spike and the round for South Built Esports.
I mean, it's just what they need, isn't it? It's a clean round. You only lose one player. You get the eco frags. It's that economic injection which makes this round taste a bit less bitter. Frosty's going for the op here, the glass cannon op at that. And, I mean, we saw how effective he was with it on Haven. I'm not surprised he goes for it again here. But he sort of strayed away for it a bit on the attack. Maybe now could be that time for a change in pace.
I'm excited. When we know they're going up against Spectres, the op is not necessarily a terrible choice. Nice. Oh, no, the pixels. The pixels, Kremer. They have managed to at least disalert this turret. And that's keeping the interest right now of Papachulo. They were thinking that maybe they'd crossed along. And while Frosty is going to be missing on that shot, the real action is happening over on A. The spike is located over here, and First Love, with a Phantom in hand, has managed to make their way into Wine. But once again, just listing away. South Built Esports are figuring out their options.
They need to be so careful on South Built. Right now, Frosty, he's the lone member. That aggression of First Love tells Bleed that it's going to be a hit to B. But as they tentatively just try and get their way into this site. Frosty, let's see if he can be that saving grace, that auto turret, that phalanx that'll fend off this attack.
A Celestial Barrage rides on down, and Aziz is going to follow in the guiding light now. A ping on Papachulo, or rather on Crusania. A little bit of friendly fire caught right there. They covered the same angle at the same time. Frosties is still alive with the operator. Surely they're going to be overwhelmed. No, a swap over onto the shorty. A miss right there will take their life away, but it's an easily recoverable op. And that's a beautiful collapse on the attack that South Built brought to bear on B.
Really strong round, and as mentioned, there you have it. Frosty, now he has that op. It's that little power spike that Bleed faced. Granted, it was against the poor buy of South Built. So now they go into their own buy. My worry for South Built is AC really doesn't favour using that op. They really don't. And because of that, I really think that for Frosty, he's gonna have that sort of free reign over South Built, unless they have to rely on their utility to funnel him out. But even then, that's a massive cost. And furthermore, that's why they've been timed out so many times on Haven. It could very well play against them here as well.
Oh, Frosties. They're going to have to shoot this drone. That will reveal their location, but then they peek back into it. It's a miss thus far from Frosties. And they have to get the knife out. Somehow the door has been shut on them by Chrysania. Interesting stuff. Chrysania, open the door. It's me, mate. I'll use the secret knock. Papachulo, do they know the secret knock? They have to get through the wall first, and the slow orb is going to make things a touch more difficult. They see where First Love is coming from, and so they activate the Nano Swarm instead. As he's made it onto site, and they'll avoid that Nova Pulse. A ping will reveal their location, and there's always a chance that they could be wallbanged here. Going up high is Frosties, but they will lose their life for the trouble that they've caused. And still there is presence here for Papachulo over in Gardens. When the dust settles, it's down to a 2 versus 1, and Papachulo's all alone. 1 rifle versus 2, and South Built are starting to run out of steam outside this window. It is going to be pre-aimed. First Love expects it, and First Love don't miss those.
First Love, really strong round, and Bleed still keeping a bit of separation between them and South Built. For a moment, it looked level. For a moment, it looked like South Built had found their way to try and close out this map. But no, Bleed, they are back in control. Frosty with that op once again. Rifles to accompany it against the eco of South Built. There are ults available for South Built. They do have that lockdown, which we have seen very commonly used as a fake over on Ascent. However, that divide, that cosmic divide, there's no faking that.
Right here.
They've been very interesting thus far, in both pre and post plants, and I think that thus far, oh no, Frosties is going to be detected. They actually hold the angle with the turret until Chrysania comes to destroy it for them. And that means that the op has not yet been uncovered. They haven't heard that. And I don't know if Frosties really saw anything as they took that jump peek. However, now you can ascertain the op is likely there due to the updraft sound on B. And so for now, it's all about mid control. That recon arrow is going to take out. Oh, somehow Aziz manages to dodge that. Doesn't get pinged, but still some warning shots were sent out.
Those little warning shots, something to watch out for, indeed. As First Love now on the jump spot. Doesn't want to kill anyone for now. Instead, just hopes that these Southwood players are easy to catch out.
That's enough right there, lads. I've had my fill. Out goes arrow that does plenty of damage, even more potentially. They've laid Flippy so low, and as you come in, who's got the elevation? I've got the high ground. It's over, Anakin. You never stood a chance for a Jedi Master, and you're but a knight. How can you be on the council but not be a master of the sheriff, just like Jar is before First Love puts them down again? And now getting over this wall is going to be an excavation affair as the old mole men are going to burrow on through. With the sheriff, they'll find nothing, and First Love finds a dirty ace.
It's dirty, isn't it? But nonetheless, it's still an ace. A wonderful little round from him. Just one kill after the next in that high ground. Well, as you mentioned, it was very much over for Anakin. In this case, 10-7 the scoreline. And for South Built, they do have the ult advantage. They have one away from the Hunter's Fury on Pro, one away from the Knives on AZ. It's for Ya and Papachulo, who actually have theirs from the get-go. You need to worry about how they expend them. Over on Bleed, they're still about a round away, 2 points away on Lexi, Chrysania, and Yarbix. This is going to be a tough little hold for them, as they've got to do it with aim, and aim alone.
Yarbix. It's going to be pretty close to this Hunter's Fury, but won't have it to try and deal with a lockdown that Papachulo's already placed down right here. Look at this position, though, from Lexi. We'll be able to get just outside of the area of effect. Oh, there is the incoming gravity well. We have to turn away, though. No players have been detained, and Jar wins out the Astra duel. Wasn't always the case on Haven, but here on Ascent certainly seems to be the case. As he snaps a pair of updrafts. If they wish to try and challenge for Heaven, they'll have to try and duel with an operator. In the hands of Frosties, the ping is good, but the wallbang mitigates the damage. Swapping over now onto a Phantom. They're so close to being pinged, and so their location will be revealed. Aziz has already got 2. A master of the rifle. And now who's all alone? Of course, Frosties is. And it could be time to run away with that operator. However, as he finds him on the hunt, I'm an avatar of air, and I will not allow any survivors.
Yeah, a really strong round nonetheless. And, well, for South Built, they're left with they're with a kind of weird circumstance, a weird predicament. They're going to try and figure out how low Bleed's money is. They know they've won, and they've made these rounds very close. They know they've been getting spike plants. Do Bleed have enough to get that off on Frosty? More importantly, can he glass cannon it? And this calculation may affect how they play the opening of this round here, with Frosty posting up in mid, op in hand, ready to kill some players.
All right, Dr. Oppenheimer, what have you got for me? Apparently a lot of fleeing. Just hit by the recon bolt there. They're going to have to give away. And look at this. They're just doubling down on the operator. Krasani is like, get through that door or stay out there. Yeah. I'm not allowing this area to be open.
It's off limits for now.
They managed to duck under it kind of quickly. And look at this. Aziz has moved on forward. Elsewhere in mid, they have suffered the loss of Flippy. That's going to make entrance onto these sites a little bit more difficult without the pop flash. But for now, it's going to be Jar contemplating where to put these stars once a celestial barrage lands. Here it comes. The divide as well. And so an attempt here to clear out multiple angles by Pro. I think they might have got a tiny bit of a touch onto Frosties, but are unable to finish the fight. And look at these. Aziz might be able to take out First Love. That's great adjustment. But now you have to deal with the one in the cubby. Krasania, you've been taken out from here before. Papachulo doesn't know their own tricks at this point. But still, Jar wins every single gunfight. The operator is noted. Ooh. And the operator is demolished. Lexi, on a lonely rotation from A here, might be forced to give this one up to Southville.
That is really problematic from Frosties. That's going to be a shake to the confidence. Missing 2 shots on players who aren't even looking at you, that's inexcusable. And for Bleed, that may be the signs that are starting to be shown of fatigue. Now, they don't have money. Bar like the 1k on Jar picks. You've got the Phantom on Lexi. It probably will be the odd Sheriff, the odd Marshal, maybe if Jar picks is feeling adventurous, to try and support this Phantom. But for the most part, this round counted as double for South Built. This will be then their 10th as well.
What's Krasania's plan for this Viper's Pit? On Haven, it seemed like the second that Krasania used that ultimate, things became unwinnable for South Built Esports. Do they have a similar plan on the defense? On the offense, sure. The post plant is strong. On the defense, how do you get into a position where that's going to be viable? Are you going to use it to lock down B main? Could you use it to lock down a site itself and then force the enemy to either penetrate into the pit or go to the other? Given what we see right now with a big stack on A, I think they might try and pit on B.
Let's see if it can be done with this stack. Things are going to get dicey once again. But Lexi, he's there. That's the gun they have. It's who they want in position. But that flash is damn strong.
Still only Krasania on B, and they're yet to use that pit. A foray out here. Is this for Reed? Look at the speed on South Built. This is a different pace from what we've seen before. They seem to have identified so much of this Bleed defense. And they hear them all rotating. Aziz could be confident to try and take the gun duels right here, but they might catch some random headshots. As they exit from the smoke, they find one reloading. Can Jarpix deliver a headshot? Ooh. At this point, it seems like the bigger clip of the Vandal is going to be the one that works it out, but Lexi's caught everyone on the rotation. The sprint worked out in their favor. And now they're by themselves. And taken down by Papachulo.
Eventually, they're finished off. 10-10 the scoreline, and for South Built, there you go, that's their double. But that was a very strong round from First Love, also from Lexi with that Phantom. And getting the 3 kills there on the eco means that South Built was still they're humbled a little bit. Their money takes a little bit of a bite, especially that on both Flippy and Yahoo. Both have to drop below 2k. Over to Bleed, though, they now have a heavy investment. They've got ults ready, matching that of SPEs. More importantly, First Love one away from the res. The only issue is they've got no money on the bank. It feels like a do or die for Bleed here.
Krasani has decided that A is not for you. A is for me. This is my pit, this is my world, and you will move elsewhere. Papachulo, having been pressured in towards mid. You can see that Frosty's is already pre-peeking this, and a lot of the armor on that wall has been stripped away, so they have to worry about the penetration. They aren't safe in this location as they may have once thought. Given that they're sending in a Trailblazer and the drone at once, Krasani has taken down one. Can they avoid getting pinged here is the question. Yes, they can. That's a miss. Oh, that's unfortunate there. And something that Pro may come to regret. And given that they missed out on those recons there, Kremer, they have to go elsewhere. But you can't go across mid. Papachulo's found that out the hard way. Frosties has put them on down. And so B, it must be.
Let's see what Lexi can do. They had a very successful round last round. Let's see what it can do this round. They do have the support of the Sova. Sova armed with a Hunter's Fury as well. So Jarpix, one you definitely can't take too lightly. 20 seconds left though, and Southbuilt, they're in danger of timing themselves out here.
All right, Aziz is getting some pace on. The Seekers move on out. They identify one person is indeed on site, but it doesn't matter if you can't beat him in a gunfight. Lexi wins out against Jar, and that's critical. However, Aziz on the flank manages to find their man. Frosty's going to walk it now with the operator. That's yet another miss over to their name.
No.
You've got to wonder what's going on in their head, Kramer, in this 3 versus 3. Aziz takes a comfortable position up in Boathouse, and close contact will be played by Pro. It's going to be First Love who they will have to deal with first. And First Love has no idea. Jarpik still on a good refrag. Brasania can make this entry happen. And look at that movement there from Aziz. Tries to force someone out. Aziz with the rifle is so strong. The updraft reveals the location of Jarpix, or at least confirms the information that was given over before. And Aziz here can just play the time if they so desire. Just plays counter. Their shoulder might be seen. And they're baited into a duel by Jarpix, who should have time to defuse. It's going to be so close, Kremer. It's going to be millimetric, less than a second. 0.8 separated Jarpix from a loss there. And Aziz was baited into that fight.
Southbuilt, they played that round really. Bleed on their defense didn't really deserve to win that. That was Lexi, who was meant to be covered by Frosty. They're not. Instead, AZ just swings from the other side, kills Lexi. Jarpix misses. Also, Frosty misses the op shot, and they go into a man disadvantage. First Love gets the kill, and it then goes from there. But that was messy from Bleed. For Southbuilt, sure they won that round, but did they deserve it? Let's be honest, because a lot of that was just reaction. And, well, for Ya, let's see what they can do. About to bring up that Cosmic Divide. There's limited ults past Ya's Cosmic Divide, and the ones that have already been achieved from both teams. So the knives from both Frosty and AZ's, the res on First Love, and more importantly, the Divide on Ya, are really going to be what gets staged to secure either match point for Bleed or equalize for Southbuilt.
Decisions have to be made here by First Love and Lexi as well. Spectres, maybe? How much utility can we afford in this instance, Kremer? Difficult decisions, but they want that overtime. They want to guarantee it. And they do have a little bit of momentum on their side. It can be heartbreaking when you lose a round by these most minuscule of margins, but at least Southbuilt are able to walk in with a fully stocked armory. And on top of that, a Blade Storm as well. And Aziz is keen to make sure that everyone knows that's the case.
AZ's leading the charge. Lexi gives the Spectre. There's that flash. They give the word of warning, and that may alert them to the attack.
They've made their way onto the flank right now. There's the ping onto Lexi, but they're already dead by the time that Aziz arrives. Bladestorm versus Bladestorm now. An anime battle between two avatars of the wind, but who will come out on top? An operator is the secondary rifle here for Frosties. They've had a couple of misses, maybe some shaken confidence. Perhaps they can follow in the drone. They want this area checked that they've pinged. And now they know that they're safe to try and walk this. Everyone in a very tight formation. A wall bang, or maybe a leg there onto Papachulo, pinged through the wall. Time is starting to drone on down. The TikTok wall from First Love can reveal so many. Papachulo, it's easy to take them down. A lot of covering fire is given. What can Aziz find? Nothing but bullets. And now Pro is all by themselves in the back. Beautiful wall there from First Love on the flank. That's going to guarantee overtime.
what a retake from Bleed there as well. They went into a 4-on-5, and they won that. Extremely impressive stuff there. And they do so with key. I think that was 2 or 3 players left alive at the end there. Really, really clean retake. And for South Built, Papachulo, they've got a sheriff going into this round. They're sheriff to try and keep them alive in this tournament.
Of course, it's not guaranteed that South Built would be flailing down if they lose this, but it becomes more and more unlikely, Kramer, that they would be one of our premier teams, at least, heading into the playoffs. Group B is bloody difficult, and there are no freebies in this group. No matter who you're against, there's always someone who's gonna pull a crafty one on you. And Papachulo here likely might even play some manner of entry to allow someone to trade off of them. And if they are 2 away here from the lockdown, if they could make a concerted effort to grab the ult, it is available on A.
Now Cressania, accompanied by First Love, in position to try and stop them. There's no trades just yet, though. Instead, for the most part, SBE really psyched themselves up for a collapse onto the same site. A nice reaction from Jarpix, but is it quick enough?
Cressania waits on the other side of the wall. Anyone who moves on through is going to have to deal with them first. But Aziz is so good when it comes to the rifles. First Love finds a pre-tenderized Aziz, and so they're able to easily take them down with a wallbang headshot. Up comes the Cosmic Divide. This time from the attackers. I would have liked to have seen that be a little bit further back. And as Papachulo moves on through, they have a disadvantage when moving into Jarpix. The drone can come out, and it will likely be easy to ping onto Pro. That's an easy ping. Will they stay up on top of this area? Jar is going to be obfuscated here by the Cloudburst. Flippy finds one with a bow out. It all comes down to Jar to keep this alive, but they simply cannot do it. Lexi goes big. That's going to be the defuse, and Bleed will claim this series 2-0.
Just like that, Bleed, they play so damn well. The retakes in particular from Bleed look immortal. Some extremely talented players, and it's all off the back of the information gained by the Sova. Really, really good stuff. And unfortunately for Southbuilt, sure, their executions are great. They congregate to sites beautifully. It's just in the retakes we see pure talent from Bleed. And First Love, a Sage top fragging. We rarely see that.
Aziz overall in the lobby doing fantastically, but unfortunately, it seemed like this map draft just did not favor them that well. They lost on their own, and admittedly, they did put up a good fight on the map pick of Bleed, but this is the Bleed that Louvre warned us about. Our champions of Group A, 5-0, not a map drop. They said that Bleed are scary, and thus far, sure, Bleed have shown some good performances, but we haven't been entirely enamored.
You're absolutely right. That's all for today, though. Tomorrow, we've got some pretty good games. We've got Paper X taking on Bleed to open, followed by Beast taking on Southbuilt Esports, which will be a battle for last place. We then have Bren versus Bam, and what is going to be a very, very exciting day of games. And I'm interested to see this Bren versus Bam game. That's my watch out, as well as the Paper X Bleed. Paper X Bleed, I think. I've changed my decision, Harry. Paper X Bleed is my game to watch out for. That'll be our opening game, starting at, I think it's 5 SGT? I can tell you it's bloody early if it's BST. But
It's the normal time. We don't start earlier until the quarterfinals, my boy.
Oh, right, okay, it's the normal time. So, 7? SGT? I think so.
I don't know.
Whatever time we started today, it was
I think
today.
5 SGT is where 5 PM SGT is.
That was right. That was right.
But whatever's happened for the last 8 days, that one.
Look, man, we jump a gas. We don't know time zones. But yeah, I think it's about that time. The Liquipedia will tell you as well. So go check it. Go check it out. Give the channel a follow if you want to come back and see tomorrow. Go give Epulze the love they deserve for making it all possible. However, that's all for today. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow. From the sounds of it, me and Harry need to go to bed. So I'll see you all in a bit. Bye-bye. Take care.
your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Feel me